Okay, it's 5 o'clock, so we are going to get started. I think I'm going to just make a small change to the agenda and let Laura Taylor go first.
Sure.
And then we'll discuss the status of the open positions.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. Yep.
I just wanted to hand it in my card.
Yeah,
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Oh, that's okay. No, thank you.
I know a couple of you, and I'm very pleased and thankful and grateful that you all agreed to see me tonight. I know it's a strange circumstance, so I just appreciate you all hearing me out. And I wrote up a narrative. I can read it all the way through, if that works for you all, or...
If you just want to kind of give us a summary of the narrative and,
I can do
Sure.
that.
I
Sort
mean, I
of
think you
the
guys-
first part. So since I started at the Council of Aging, multiple members of my staff have been contacted by other Council of Agings to come and work for them. And the lead is always, you can make more money if you come work for us. I'm very lucky that this has been shared with me. So with that in mind, I started doing some research to see if my employees were being paid at a competitive rate for the work they do. I went through each of their 3 job descriptions in question, met with them all, and now they have all been rewritten to accurately describe what their duties actually are. In your packet, the transportation and mail site manager are redlined with new duties and responsibilities in red. For outreach, it was completely rewritten based on the work that the current outreach coordinator is doing, and both those copies are also included in your packet. There will always be council on aging in Massachusetts that pay a higher rate. I am blessed with a committed staff, but I'm also aware of the higher cost of living. We're a complete team and have been together for the last 5 months working to serve the senior community of Clinton. We're all part of a puzzle, and we need all of the pieces so that puzzle is complete. I'm also willing to use funding from our formula grant to cover the amount I am looking for to increase the hourly rates of the 3 employees for FY26. Then moving forward, I will be adding this amount to my annual budget. So I am requesting 2 title changes and reclassification and 3-step increases. I realize what I'm requesting should have been requested during the budget season. I know there's a full budget season. I had been at the Council on Aging 2 weeks when I had to present my budget. So I was told that raises are taken care of by the town and the Finance Committee. So it didn't even cross my mind that there was another option. Now, 5 months later, after working with my team day to day, I realized that the salaries presented for FY26, in my opinion, do not reflect the level of commitment by my staff members. I was handed a dream team, and the staff are dedicated to the seniors in our community. And so I'm here advocating for 3 employees, but probably be back for the rest, but, you know, whatever. So Christine Ladner, who is our dispatcher, joined the Council on Aging in 2021 as a receptionist. I would like to have her new title be Transportation Dispatch Supervisor or Coordinator. She is a part-time employee at grade level A, step 12, but in her role as dispatcher, she is responsible for scheduling and dispatching our 9 drivers with the WRTA van plus the SUV, and they cover over 32 towns. These van rides and SUVs are going Monday through Friday, 8 to 3:30, and she is constantly on the phone talking to the van drivers, talking to the seniors. We got a new program that she has rolled out and managed. She was also part of writing the grant process. In her packet is your full job description. She is the first line of contact for our van drivers and seniors. In FY25, she serviced over 4,200. They're duplicated rides, but because some people take it 3 times a day, but it's still a ride that has to be set up. And so I'll skip down and I'll let you guys read the rest, but she is classified, as I said, as a step 12. I would like to move her to grade C, step 1, or step 2. She's been there for 4 years, and in FY25, she's making an hourly rate of less than half of our van drivers. And she's the one that is giving them their instructions, working with them. The assistant director is the overall person in charge of the van drivers, and Christine, but Christine's the first line. Another important point is, even with the cost of living raise that she got, this FY '26, she is making less money than she did in FY '25 because there was a 25% bump in healthcare. So she's not even carrying home the same amount of pay she did in FY '25, and that's with the raises that were given by the town. Within your packet, I also included some comparable rates that other people in this position are getting at Council on Aging's across the state. And I did try and find towns that have the comparable amount of seniors, at least close to it. We have 3,400 seniors here in Clinton. So that is for Christine, Transportation, and she's here today.
Laura, before you go on, so
Sure.
I'm just reading this, so that's a 25-hour job?
Yes,
Yeah.
and she does get benefits for that job.
Okay, no, I just saw that, so I just want to separate the two.
All right, so I can go on to, do you want more
So
questions?
you're
Sorry.
requesting a grade change?
A grade change, and, yes, so I apologize, I didn't put that on there. I would like her to go up to grade C, step 1, to go from making $21.15 an hour that she is currently to $22.24 an hour.
Well, as you know, I mean, this has to also go through the finance committee and everything because the budget has been finalized and
Yeah.
everything. I mean, yes, we can certainly look at the change in the grade level and the change in titles, and discuss that amongst ourselves, but yeah.
Yep, Ray and Diane were both very clear that, getting to see you guys was, they said, I don't want to use the word privilege, but sort of thank you, because it is out of the box. And I know that if it gets past you, then it's finance, and I think the Department of Revenue, so I know there's a long road ahead, but if you don't take a swing, you don't know if you're gonna hit anything, so I wanted to at least try. Also, the senior center is awarded each year a formula grant from the state of Massachusetts. We get $16 for each employee. That money can be used for anything that benefits seniors, including the salary of staff. So I'm asking for the 3 employees, a total of $7,956, and that would cover what I would like to request for the raises for all 3 of the employees. I have that money in my formula grant, and I have gotten permission to use it. I don't know if the town can allow to use it, but the state has given me the okay. And something else to kind of mull around. When I started, or my position now is making $71,000. The previous director left, and if she had stayed and got her just one step upgrade, would be making $82,000. So there's an $11,000 difference that is sort of out there that will sort of never catch up to. And if possible, I would like to see that money utilized for raises for my staff. So it is odd, it's a strange request. I mean, I have Brandy and Deb to go through as well. I'm sort of
Yeah.
here just pleading my case and showing, starting this job and walking in to, a staff that is bonded, and they just came together, the work that they do, we are increasing the amount of seniors. I mean, I even have in here, in the 6 months that my outreach coordinator has been here, she's handled over 450 450 calls, either meeting with seniors, families, scheduling something. And the previous year, in the whole year period, it was, I think, 144. So my employees are definitely stepping up to the plate, and I just want their salaries to reflect that. And it's just small bumps to have them sort of comparable to surrounding Council on Aging's, because it's hard to find good people.
So all these job descriptions here, are these new job descriptions?
They
or
were
are
ones
these-
that I had submitted to Ray when I started. And then when I started, I ended up meeting with each of my employees because as the new director, I wanted to see what they did, what they wanted to do, what their goals were, what did they think their job should look like. And so we went through them. And a lot of the things that they were saying that they were doing weren't on the job description.
So
they-
these are modified job descriptions
Yes.
of their current titles?
Yes. I did put for Christine and Brandy in red,
Yep.
theirs, and then Deb is a brand-new one. But even with Deb, you know, the position that she originally applied for was outreach manager, and then the offer letter said outreach coordinator, but even here it says outreach manager. And she, you know, came to work at the Council on Aging from Shaw's as an assistant director, so she has the experience, and honestly, all my employees are fabulous. Like, I'm not just saying it to say it, like, I have been so impressed with the level of work that they put out each day, and just the seniors light up when they come into the room, like, and I just, even today, we helped somebody with a housing thing that they thought were all set, and just doing a deep dive and probably contacting 5 people, we found out, you know, well, she wasn't, but now she is, and so now she can move forward. And this is the type of commitment that I have from all of my employees.
All right, I am, first off, the fact that you went back and updated the job descriptions is something that we've talked about here on the board now for a good year. And it's
Exactly.
something, and I gotta be honest, and this probably identified a problem that I don't have the solution for right now, but the salaries that are in that grid that your employees deal with and other employees deal with are all based off of, a lot of them, mine included, were based off of job descriptions that were never updated. And so the fact that you've done that, I don't know if there's anything we can do for you in the middle of this fiscal year, not just the money-wise, because, you know, if you update them, and I'm not speaking for the whole board, I'm speaking for myself, and we say we're gonna up it from a C to a D, that could start a chain of events. But I do think, and we've talked about this with Ray, I think if we could get, you know, starting with you guys, updated job descriptions so that we could go back as a board and address all, you know, I don't know if it's a new salary, whatever they called it, a salary study, whatever that last one was. It may put some equality in there, because I think there's some, and I don't know what you can do, people are overpaid, but there are some people that are, to your point, that are underpaid, and we're stuck in this, plugged into this grid that, but I don't know here in and even though it is just July, a couple things, one, just not only the money, but the precedent, I mean, the revolving door would start, but it at least this gives us somewhere to start, you know, in following years. And I'm not telling you, I feel like I agree with you, but I don't know at this point at this point, in the middle of, you know, not the middle of, but with this fiscal year starting, I don't know what to do.
I guess I look at it as when I left Parks and Rec, my job became reclassified as a recreation manager. And the pay was, when it was posted, was more than I received when I was there. And, you know, I had already gone and the position is still open. My fear is, and again, like, you know, I watch Law and Order. I know, you know, when you tamper with evidence or something happens, then you open up a whole bunch, you open up Pandora's box. Like, I'm aware of that. But I also, you know, at least for my outreach coordinator, when she was hired, there was an indication that, you know, in FY '26, she could become a director and move up. And so there were just things that were put forth, at least for the outreach manager, I wasn't a part of, I didn't hire her, and I'm afraid, you know, I'm pretty confident everyone is going to stay. But I also know that costs have gone up, housing has gone up, everything has gone up. It's crazy, and just to try and meet your mortgage. And I just don't want to have to come back and reclassify and then try and hire people and sort of be in the position that Parks and Rec is in, where my position has been open since mid-January.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, I think we're seeing this across the board, and I think to Brendan's point, you know, I think we need to treat this as like a first read and review, because there are multiple decisions that are going to need to get made across the board around how we look at positions and where they should be classified and where they should be placed. I mean, but I don't, from my perspective, I don't think we can, I wouldn't advocate voting on this today without
No,
us having
we'd
a
have to
conversation.
have a
We're gonna have to have a
conversation on-
conversation about, because the
Of
job,
course.
I think what you were getting at too is the job descriptions come back through us. So job descriptions get approved by us anyway. So
Right,
that would be
so
the
we
first
can
thing is
do
to
that.
review it and go,
Right.
okay, if this is really what the positions are, this is super helpful for us, we should be voting on approval of new job descriptions first and foremost to say, are we all in favor
Right.
that these job descriptions fit? Which then allows us to place it on the scale where it belongs. And then obviously that has down the stream pay
Right.
implications.
Yeah.
But that's a multi-step process.
It is.
It is, and yeah, we can look at reclassifying the job, changing the job titles. The biggest thing would be the monetary thing right now, so that's where we have to discuss, and, because we're changing levels, so it's gonna, we're talking minimum
What we keep. I'm
grade
sorry.
salary levels.
Right, because, and currently, unfortunately, and this isn't the first time that this type of stuff has been brought to our attention, and unfortunately, right now in the town of Clinton, there's not a process that allows us to visit these types of things.
And maybe that can be
in-
something
in
that
any
starts with
situation.
this board.
Right, and
because-
we've discussed it on this board before, and we're not saying that we shouldn't be
can't
able to do
happen,
this.
right.
We're just saying currently, there's not a process in which we can do that as a town. You know, the select board, the finance committee,
If I could interject,
Please.
in a February meeting, joint session between the Select Board, Finance Committee, and this board, there was an approval to move forward with a salary study this fiscal year.
salary
So
study.
the-
Yes.
Correct.
And
Which
this
would
fiscal
require
year.
this step
Yeah.
in updating job descriptions. Now, whether or not that'll be funded, considering the financial constraints on the
Well,
town this
before
year.
the
Dr.
salary
Rock, you're
study,
talking
make
fiscal
sure
year
the
for
job
26 or the next
It
one?
was supposed to be this
That's the
fiscal
first
year.
thing.
That was the discussion.
Okay, no, because I think we don't have, so when you're talking grade change, I know the board's already said it, if you brought an updated job description, this board has the authority, if you will, to change the grade. We do not
We
have
do.
the authority to change somebody on a step.
Right.
So if you hire somebody up to grade C, step 3, we can't change that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's something, you know, and you brought this up, and I've talked about this before, there's a routing sheet that Mike and I think Christine did before that we need to get our hands on, because it should be all the department heads, because if we gave that to you, this wouldn't have
She
happened,
probably
because you
doesn't
would have
have it.
known that if you want to do something, where you go next, and who, you know, to Matt's point, you check it off the block, and then would, you know, but I think this is a good start, because, as everyone said, if we get the updated job description of all the departments, then this board can sit down with the finance committee and say, if we move these people, these jobs, what's the total cost? That's all they care about, is the total
Wait,
cost.
and she kind of, you gave us that
Yeah,
breakdown too.
you have all the
No, I mean,
resumes,
you had-
you have all the
Yeah.
numbers, like, I
Mm-hmm.
put every scenario I could think of
Right.
together
Right.
to
Well, and
try.
you have the ability to fund it, so.
I do
you
have
a
the
grant that
ability
can
to fund it.
So again, I don't think this is for this particular instance in this FY 20, is it 25 or 26?
26.
It's not about the money, it's about the process and
Right.
protocol, and basically making sure that we're not stepping in it. We need to make sure that again, the first thing would be review the job description.
Yes, and
have a
make
vote on the
sure
job
it's
description and say, yep,
graded.
we're all in favor of it, great.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes reclassification, which then ends up being like, where does the money hang? But
Well,
that's
if it's
a
graded
multi-step process
appropriately.
that we can't do all three of those things today.
Oh,
That's
I
all,
mean.
but I think what you're saying here makes total sense.
No, and this is great because we can discuss the job descriptions, discuss the grade levels, and, you know, like Brenny said, is the steps within the.
And I'm happy to continue to come meet with you to
Mm-hmm. Sure,
help
yeah,
sort of
sure,
create a
sure.
policy, so for going forward, because, you know, when you start a new job, you realize like, wow, this was great, oh, we need to write up something for this. You know, it's not until sort of someone comes to you or something happens that you realize things need to change, you need to document it, you need to put together a process.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I would be more than happy to be, if you needed a member from the town or an employee, to be part of it, because that's how much I believe in wanting to have a process. So during mid-year, or if a new person starts, that, you know,
We understand.
I want to do the best for my
Yeah, we
employees
understand.
and
Of
for the
course you do.
town.
Yeah.
So,
Madam Chair, can we
No,
at least
thank
commit
you.
to reviewing the job descriptions and then making sure by like next meeting, we can figure out if the job descriptions are in alignment?
Yes,
I mean, I think we need to do that first.
yes.
If
that's
we're in
what we'll
agreement
do.
there, I think it's a great place to be.
Yeah, so by next meeting, we'll have the job descriptions all reviewed.
The ones from
Ready.
the senior center.
These
From
three,
senior.
yeah.
Yeah.
Every single one of them, Brenny.
The whole
every
town,
one.
Benny, the whole town.
Okay.
Well, before we do any type of salary study, everybody needs to understand that
They need
they,
to,
we need
Updated
updated
job
job
like,
description.
just
Because
like
this is a huge
what
help
she
for us.
gave us.
Yes, right.
You know, and we talk about
Right.
the job script, but and I know in past meetings, and it's nothing to do with the senior center directly, but when we talk about employees getting evaluated, how are you going to, how are they going to evaluate someone with the outdated job description? So it's all tied into one, so. you know,
Absolutely.
And
Really
I'm
is.
not,
Which
I'm not
we've
looking at you to
talked
do
about
it.
in the past.
I'm just saying, no, this
Yeah.
is something that.
Yeah,
should
this
go
wasn't
out-
done by me, so I'm not taking any.
No, I wasn't. No, but I think it's something
No.
that the board should send out to all the department heads and say, hey, you know what, there's a salary study possibly, you know, whenever, either update them or live with what the decision is. And you've updated them, and, you know, if others don't want to, that's fine, then you'll get paid off of, you know, inaccurate
Well,
description.
they should
Well, it's
understand
a
that
waste
before
of the
any
town's
salary
money.
study gets done, they have to
Yeah.
submit updated job descriptions
should
to
be reviewed.
reflect the role.
Yes.
In human resources also, I have to admit this, I haven't fully reviewed these changes, but just to make sure that the wording is correct. and
Right.
We're not putting ourselves in a corner also.
Absolutely.
And also not putting,
Yeah, I
putting
think-
duties on someone outside of a classification
Well,
also.
right, and what she did is really, she just, she updated the essential functions and all of
Right.
that, mostly. I mean, obviously, you look at the qualifications and, you know, the stuff that could get us in big trouble.
So we're not saying no.
No, God, no.
No,
saying
we
it's
just,
a
We're saying
first
thank
step.
you to start.
no,
Let's
and
start
thank
there.
you. It's nice to hear somebody being so, I don't know, you're
Nice.
nice and talk.
Proactive.
Yeah, and talking about your staff like that and really appreciative, you know, kudos to you.
It's liquid gold, so if you guys have senior citizens over 60 in your family,
Hey, go easy.
come on up. Well, I'm part of that class,
Yeah,
so
what'd you say?
I'm part of
Hey,
it. So 60 and over, so.
I
No,
will say that every time Laura's come into my office, she's always spoken very well of her staff and wanting to give them more, give them
No,
opportunity.
that's what
I
we
think it should be
need.
65.
that helps, because let's face it, we're not the top payers around. And people like that have a staff like that and talks so good about your staff, it means a lot. And I'm sure it means a lot to the staff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, when you review job descriptions, are you talking to the individual that has that position too, so you have some sense of what they do? Because a lot of people don't even know what we do in the senior center.
It would go through the department head, like the, I mean,
Yeah.
I
Just
guess
like this happens
Laura
here.
could bring you here, but we wouldn't want every employee
Yeah.
to come in.
Yeah,
One-
no.
No,
We're
but,
not personally, but the manager should be
Right.
talking to the employee.
So if we, and
Talk about reviews, who would you do a review with Laura?
with Laura,
Yeah.
if we had questions, we'd talk to Laura.
Right.
Or, you know, we'd have Ray reach out to her so that nothing gets held up or
but
something.
you'd be welcome to come, but I mean, not really. I didn't really mean that.
Okay, so,
Were you guys gonna take a vote to review the job
we,
descriptions?
yeah.
Yeah. I'll make
Yeah.
a motion that we review the three job descriptions, and by our next meeting, we have an update on a process forward with the job descriptions as written.
I'll second.
All in
I just have
favor?
one question, I'm sure it's in here. On the top of the job description, it doesn't have the current grade, but is that in,
I
you're
know.
right?
It's all in
somewhere?
here in the
Okay.
packet, yes. I included everything
I
in
can
my
forward that
wish
also.
list.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just,
Can-
as long as it's in here, I can,
Is it
I
possible
just
to
don't
have
want
all
to leave
the
here, have to
job
look it up.
descriptions list the grade underneath
Title?
the title?
Some of them did. That's what I said I was looking for. Some of
They,
them-
there are a lot of iterations of these
Okay.
Well,
positions.
they kind of should be
Because I was
uniform.
looking for
I
it, I
also would
swear.
like to say that I'm still looking for all of the approved classifications from the salary study a few years ago.
Right.
So
Okay.
I want to say yes because I agree with you,
But
and that's
when,
where I'm going to,
as
It's
you
inconsistent,
gather
yes.
them up for the
I have a listing
study,
of the positions.
Make, if we
And
can
where they-
have them
where
put
they
the
go.
grades on the,
Where they
you
were put
know.
off the last one, right?
Like in the format of what the job description
Exactly.
should be, it should include
Please.
title next to the, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, grade next to the title.
Yeah.
It would be
We'd,
helpful.
we'd have to update the job descriptions to do that formally. But there is a listing of where these positions fall on the classification scale.
Joni, can you close that motion up with a vote, if you don't mind?
Yes. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great.
All right,
Thank you,
thank you
Laura.
very much for your
Thank you.
time.
Appreciate it.
I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
And reach out with any questions that you might
Thank
have
you.
for myself.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you.
And thank you to your staff, who obviously is awesome.
Yes. Yes, thank you, guys. No. I, you know.
Thanks, have a good night.
Yeah. thought you were staying.
Yeah. So you gotta get the dispatcher. All right, next item on the agenda is the open positions. Move back up. And let me get. Well, that was a good discussion.
No, it's good. Your homework.
Yeah, she sure did. Okay, open positions. First one is the town administrator position. What's the status on that, Ray?
So how about I give a general kind of overview of what's going on with these positions, mostly because most of these positions are in the town administrator's office.
Yes, very concerning.
So the town administrator position, as you know, doesn't fall under this board's purview, but as a courtesy, letting you know that we have started interviews for that position. We don't know where it's going to go from here. We are providing an update to the select board tomorrow. So that is moving.
Okay, good.
And Ray, I do hate interruption.
Sure.
People interrupt me when I do, of course. When you say start, have they interviewed anybody or just, and I don't need. I'm not
Interviews
asking
have
for-
started.
Okay, I'm not
Yes.
looking for any names, just, yeah.
Yep.
okay.
Yeah,
Any
we're not
viable
giving-
candidates?
We can't give that out.
No, I didn't want-
I can't even talk about it.
Okay.
It all
Yeah, I just want to know if
happened,
they were actually,
that was all in executive session.
Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
Thank you.
no, that's, we just
Got
wanted
it.
a status, that's
Thank you.
fine.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Is there like an ETA, that you guys think you'd have that completed, or? No?
No.
Okay,
I mean, the hope is
Thank you.
to put forward candidates from this initial interview from the subcommittee. And the next steps will kind of take it from there, and hopefully we'll have someone in discussions by the end of August, hopefully.
Okay.
But that's not a guarantee. The consultant that we were looking to retain to actually do this executive search, as you know, the Finance
Yeah.
Committee denied the funding for that, for
Yeah.
whatever reason. They had given a time frame of about 7 months. So the expectation that we would have it done in 2 or 3 is a little bit, in my opinion,
Aggressive?
aspirational.
Yeah.
okay, so I just want to say one thing, because you had given us 3 job descriptions from the same area. The town administrator, the assistant town administrator, and the executive assistant.
Of the town.
That's all 3 positions, and then what?
That's exactly my next point. So I do have an item on the select board's agenda tomorrow to discuss the status of the open positions, including the treasurer, the 2 positions in the town administrator's office. Originally, the ATA was going to be something that they let the new town administrator have input on. With the executive assistant position being vacant, it's something that they'd wanted. I posed the question to the chair in a conversation, and she said that it would bear further discussion with the board to see where they stood as a body to be able to move forward as to whether or not we're going to post this position, if we're going to be waiting, what the appetite is for posting the assistant town administrator position also, or anything that has to do with that position in general.
With that, Rand, just while we're on the assistant town administrator,
Sure.
is, please, anybody on the board, correct me, if I'm wrong, I thought whether they posted it now or when they posted it when they hired the new town administrator, that we were going to update the job description to,
Reflect what the town administrator did.
Yes.
thank you.
Exactly.
Yes, and
Yes.
they were waiting.
No, because we've talked
Right.
about it a million times.
And so I guess my question to, whether you want to ask the board or we do, is, that is, whether they want to do it and run it through us, just for our rubber stamp, or whether they want us to do it so that we don't get bogged, because, they meet tomorrow, then we meet, like, we'll get bogged down,
So their plan is to revisit the job description.
Okay,
It's whether or not the plan will include a new town administrator, or if they're going to do it on their own. Either way, once they decide that they're going to move forward with the position, is when they'll decide what the next action is.
It's taken way too long.
Ray, is this an
We have
updated,
talked about this several
Absolutely.
meetings ago.
is this an updated?
And now there's
job-
3 positions
Right.
vacant. That is a concern.
Yes,
we
big
initially
concern.
asked them if they wanted to fill it and wait, he said yes, then they wanted to do it. But again, I think, and again, I'm just speaking for myself, not the board, but I believe the board's appetite was to, I don't know, put more teeth in that position.
Is this updated?
For better.
I'm sorry.
Of
what's
the
the what?
assistant town administrator, to make it like what Ellen just said, more reflect what the town administrator did, you know, almost.
I think they're exploring several avenues, but I think the discussion stalled that.
Okay.
We're waiting for.
Yeah, I'm
new
not trying to
town
put you on the
administrator.
spot either, that's
Yeah.
not my point.
You're
So-
waiting for what?
The discussion stalled with, they're waiting for the new town administrator to be part of the discussion with the ATA and what's going to happen there. Someone who comes in and assesses and sees what the actual duties of this position will be. Will it be duly appointed? Will it be completely reflective of the TA role? Will it be in charge of overseeing different areas? And it's not an uncommon practice to have the TA have input on your ATA or your cabinet.
It's
members.
absolutely not, but we're in crisis mode here. I mean, we have nobody in that office. Are we gonna do something temporary, like hire maybe somebody temporary until we?
That's part of the discussion tomorrow, to kind of figure out where the board wants to go with this. They recognize that it's a vacant position. I would recommend that if the board is feeling very strongly about it, that the chair reaches out to the chair of the select board to discuss further, to try to get some information. But usually if a position is unfunded and the department head or whomever is not pushing it, we usually kind of adhere to what that
Sure.
department's need is, but also acknowledge that we have 2 vacant positions there now, which is why they've accepted my questions.
Right.
Ray, I just have a
After
quick
their
question.
meeting
This is not an updated job description though, right? This assistant town administrator position, this is not updated.
That's the only one I have.
That's
It's the one we've had, but it's not an
Yes,
updated one.
right.
It's not an updated one.
And I only asked it because, and this isn't on HR, and it's certainly not on this board, but when we left this off with you, we left it off with the directive of, we were gonna rewrite the assistant town administrator position. Well, first of all, we were gonna pull down the assistant town administrator position posting off the website. We were gonna rewrite it, and we were gonna inform the finalists that had applied that we were gonna rewrite it, repost it, and encourage them to apply. That's where we left it with you.
Well, that was with the
And
joint
then-
meeting.
Yes.
And then the select board decided that it made more sense to wait till the town administrator position was in play before the ATA. Totally get it. That being said, like the finalists that we had that wanted to be the assistant town administrator, right? The finalists we had, if they're still out there and interested in this job, I feel like the first thing we ought to be doing is calling them. Because you may get through all of this interviewing for the TA town administrator position and come up empty. And go, all right, now we either need an interim or we need to repost or something needs to happen. So like, it would behoove us to find out if there's, outside of Joyce, who Mike put forth as the candidate that they declined, there was other candidates that were finalists. We need to call them probably and find out if they're still interested, because if you could hire one of those faster than you're gonna get through the TA, I gotta imagine that's in the best interest of the town.
Mike, I mean.
And that's just my opinion. I mean, it's not my call, it's just my opinion.
Yes, that, Matt, I agree, with you, and I think that's what we're all saying, but then the select board decided, I guess you said they're saying tomorrow, that they wanted
No,
to
I know.
stop the
but like-
process, right?
And
Don't-
that's why it needs to be
right,
revisited.
yes,
Because
yes.
if, I would just say, it would not hurt us to make 3 or 4 phone calls and say, I recognize it's been 7 or 8 months. I know you were interested in the assistant town administrator position. Is this something you would still be interested in? We're gonna redo the job posting, we're gonna repost it and encourage you to apply. And that should not take more than a week to get that thing, or 2 weeks to get it
But
out
we've
so they can
said,
apply.
and we've said this in the past.
That's
Right, but it's not on
But
Ray
that's
because
their
the select
decision.
Oh,
board
no,
decided we wanted a
absolutely
different
not.
road.
No, I'm not saying
No.
anything's on Ray.
Anyways, I'm just saying like it might make
Select board
sense.
would have to say-
Okay, okay.
So it was decided that we would call applicants, not finalists, because those finalists, the board had decided not to move forward with them. So we had no finalists by the time I came here. Those finalists were gone.
Okay.
It was decided at that joint meeting that we would rewrite the job description because this is not written as an assistant town administrator.
Right, which we all agreed with.
That's
Right.
where we are.
But,
Okay.
so
Okay,
I
I,
agree with you, no.
and I think the job description really
reclassify.
has to be
Yes,
rewritten.
yes, but you're right. I 100% agree. I don't want to just throw a letter on it without,
Yeah.
no, I agree.
Yep, so I'm asking them what their status is. I'm moving forward and being proactive
Right, 'cause
about
we-
that
we
because
can
I think
talk
we
about it.
need to know what
Right, we
that
can talk
is,
about if
the
they
plan is for
decide-
that office.
If they decide they don't want to go forward at this time, then we just listen to us talk about it for the next 10
At this
minutes.
point, we're just influencers. There's nothing we can do.
Right.
unless The select board wants to do it. Like, there's nothing we can do.
Ray, I am
So I
gonna
guess we'll learn tomorrow
ask
night.
for a vote of the personnel board to request that the assistant town administrator job description be rewritten right now.
So moved.
By who?
Agree.
Because either way, we have to have it, doesn't matter.
We're not gonna bring
Whenever
in
they're ready
a
for it, we
town
have to have it.
administrator and then say, well, here's a job description that's out of date, and we're gonna do a salary study and,
We know what we want the town administrator to
We've
do.
already
Can I-
talked about it.
So it should just reflect the duties, similar
We
duties to
talked
what
about,
the town
exactly, we
administrator.
talked about succession.
Right.
So the town administrator,
Clearly, if we
I
had it in
understand the
place.
board's position. And I would highly suggest asking audience with the select board to discuss it, rather than taking the matters into your own hands and rewriting the job description, not knowing the appetite of the board. I think it's a very worthwhile discussion to have with them to find out what they want that position to look like, rather than have it reflect the town administrator's duties.
Sure.
Especially as we get a new TA who may, be able to concentrate in this one place where we're, not as
When
as
is,
up to date, whatever it might be.
when is the meeting?
The next meeting after tomorrow is in 2 weeks.
so is it
What's that
simple,
date?
I mean, you said that there's something on the agenda involved with you, right?
For me to request a stat, what they're,
Madam Chair, I mean, whether Ray went or one of us went and just simply asked him that quick question, like, what do you want us to do? Like,
well, that's what I'm asking them.
yeah. Joni, did you hit, so if Ray goes in,
reach out
if Ray goes in meeting tomorrow night and just says, hey, besides everything else he's got from them, hey, the question from the personnel board, as long as he's there rather than one of us go, I mean, I'll go, I don't care, but if he just says, hey, the board wants to know, what do you want them to do with the assistant town administrator? The board,
I'll go to the meeting.
okay, yeah, the board feels this, and just let us know. You're right, because I hate to put all the time in it, have them say, this isn't what we want, and
But I guess the only thing I would say is, either way,
I'll text.
this document is not going to be the document, so I think the motion to say, with guidance and collaboration with the select board, the motion is to rewrite the town
Yes,
administrator position.
but-
The assistant, the assistant
Yeah.
ATA position. We could say that, and then it's going to take collaboration and find
Okay.
out where they want to go with it.
right.
But I still
Exactly.
think the
All
directive
right.
could be that we should have it rewritten.
Agree.
Okay, agreed.
Exactly.
And then whatever they
That's all
decide,
we're
it's going to take
asking.
time,
okay, I'm good.
Yeah, that's
That
all
removes
that,
me from the process, so I
that's
defer to the
all that we're
board.
asking for. So if you could tell them what we had voted to ask, that we have that assistant town administrator position, the job description updated.
and what's their view on what they want it
And
to look like.
what do they want it to look like? We've always talked about succession
now.
and
Yeah.
somebody being able to step in if that person was out or something like that.
It just doesn't make sense to wait to hire a town administrator.
I
It just,
would
it
agree.
doesn't. We are in, we have nobody in that office, and we know we know what the town administrator job description is. It just should mirror to a degree, not exact,
Right.
um,
So if
a
they,
succession, type of succession plan, job description, with, not the same duties as the town administrator, but it should,
right,
we should look at the town administrator, and we should look at the assistant town administrator to see what we can take off, if there's something that we can allow the assistant town administrator to do, take off some of the burden of the town administrator, because,
And if you run them both in parallel paths and you come up with an
Right.
ATA and not a
Exactly.
TA, well, at least you have somebody to go with, so you're not empty office.
right.
exactly.
That's all,
So would you mind just reiterating what the exact vote was?
The exact vote was to update the assistant town administrator job description
Immediately.
as soon as possible.
And if they could just give us,
I
again,
don't know how that will play out.
probably take out the word immediately.
Yeah,
ASAP?
No, but if they could just give
I
us
was
some
trying
guidance,
to
like, do they
say
want us to,
like-
like,
I think
Delicately?
that's, well, I think that's why I'm asking
Yeah.
what the exact thing is, because as a board, you
Right.
can request the position to be rewritten, you can request the position to be reclassified, you can request the position to be compensated in a different scale. But ultimately, it is the department who's going to decide whether or not the position's ready to be posted.
so I make a motion, as a board, we are requesting the assistant town administrator job description be rewritten.
Okay, I will bring that to the board, whether or not they act on it.
Oh, we know, because they
There-
haven't
and
acted
if
on,
they
it hasn't been
ask-
acted on
So would
since the
you like
last time
to
we
know
asked
the
for it.
Well,
reason why?
For me, I'm asking because the jurisdiction to ask another department to update a job description when the duties have not been yet determined. Do you see the disconnect? I'm just trying to say, like.
I
But
do.
I guess I'm frustrated with the fact that they don't know what the duty should be of the assistant town administrator. That is frustrating to me.
Yes, I understand that. And frankly, if we're looking at the current job description, I'm fully on board with this board. But I also know that they want to be able to, their original outlook was to be able to have this town administrator come in and see how they wanted to allocate this person's time, which is very, very reasonable. Which is why I'm also asking the same question you are on an agenda tomorrow with the select boards, which is why I'm confused. It's difficult for me to say, they voted for you to update a job description that you don't have the details on.
But I don't understand why they wouldn't have the details on. And you know what, when we hire, I mean, we can put it 90% there, right? And then when you hire somebody, they can modify that job description if they want to change it a little bit. But we can't be waiting for a town administrator to get hired to do the job
Agree.
description.
Agree.
That's ludicrous to me.
Which is
It really
why I asked for an audience with the select board tomorrow. So I think we're all asking the same thing.
We are.
It's just that a vote isn't going to make the select board act as the appointing authority.
Well, okay.
And you're also
but
gonna
that
ask
was
them,
a
are you-
request.
Do you know what I'm
Call it
saying?
a
Fair
vote,
enough.
call it a request.
Right.
whatever like
Probably a
that.
request, and tomorrow night at the meeting, whether they're going to do it public or executive session, they're going to hopefully have some type of update or timeline on the next step in the town administrator, which kind of ties into the,
We'll be discussing
Right.
what we're
So
recommending
maybe,
for
you
next
know,
steps.
if they say, again, I agree with you, they probably don't want to finalize it till you get a town
So-
administrator, but they have one ready to go, it might be quicker, it may speed it up.
Well, what we're asking is what the board's plan is now that the office is open. Because ultimately, what they do with that position also will determine what classification it falls
Right.
under.
Sure.
Correct.
Right.
Okay, and then if by chance they want a joint meeting, happy to oblige to that.
But I do think those processes they have to happen in parallel paths.
I agree.
We could have hired,
100%.
this position could have been hired already. Could have already been done. There could be something in that office, and
As you
I
know,
think the intent was good, I understood the intent on why they wanted to do it, but, you know, intent sometimes has undesirable consequences.
Sure.
So,
I approached the board with a proposal for the ATA position. It was duly appointed, but that's something that they could think about for any aspect,
Sure.
for finance, for, well, I don't know if they can do it for treasury, but in that kind of respect, where it would be classified in a position where it would be able to kind of report or serve in interim to the town administrator. But they hadn't made a decision on that. That was proposed to them back in, I believe, March or April, and they weren't ready to move on that. And that was an updated job description.
Okay. So how about the executive assistant to the town administrator
That's part of the
position?
question for tomorrow, because there hasn't been any decision whether or not to move forward on that.
Is there anybody, is that,
There is nobody in the role right now.
why, okay, so how is any of that work getting done right now? I know Mike's still here, but,
Mike is,
so it's all on Mike.
it's all on Mike right now. Yep.
Nice.
when you say
And-
that they don't know how they're gonna move forward, I imagine that an executive assistant to the town administrator is going to have to be backfilled. So that's how we're gonna move forward with it, it's going to be backfilled. Now, we might not know who we want to backfill it, but I can't imagine all of a sudden we're gonna say to ourselves, in a vacuum, this position is gonna change in leaps and bounds, so we don't know what to do with
Exactly.
it. This is an administrative assistant's job.
So
Well, is that what
it's-
they're
it's not-
saying?
It's not being filled, they're not saying that, thank you.
No, I'm asking,
Yeah.
I'm asking, like, they must know they have to
Just to
backfill.
give-
It just seems,
Right.
there seems to be a disconnect in communication, and I can't get a straight answer as to whether or not we're going to fill it now, or if we're holding. So I requested to discuss it.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, at the last meeting,
Thank
they
you.
didn't
Because I
give
don't
Mike
want
any guidance whether
to
he should
hire
post
5
it now or
positions
not.
at once.
I guess I don't understand.
Sounds like the best decision around here is indecision.
But,
Exactly.
Not you.
but
Dan,
to your
in
point,
general. We're stuck in.
we
Okay.
could
That's
definitely review that one, I don't think
We're stuck in
This-
there'd be a
neutral.
lot of
You
changes
know
to
what?
it.
I don't think that there's a lot to do it.
Maybe some updates, because I don't know when the last time that was updated either.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
absolutely. I think
yeah.
all of the job
Yeah,
descriptions can bear further scrutiny.
Yeah, I
but-
think all these, we're talking about these old ones, we probably should just glance through them. I mean, I can't imagine there's a lot to change on Joyce's job, but it also hasn't been updated in, probably 15 years, so there
Yeah,
may be
so
something in
they
there.
would-
We take out the word processor type.
So, yeah, so I would
Shorthand?
think
Yeah,
the
shorthand.
department should review
Yeah.
that and make sure that that's
We'll,
the
we'll make sure
necessary,
that we,
um,
as the
job,
positions are coming
essential
up, we're
function.
looking at them to see if we can make any revisions.
Okay.
So that'll definitely be one.
Good.
One that I forgot to add to this was the treasurer collector. That's still going through a consultant at the moment.
Which one?
That's the treasurer collector
Oh,
position.
yeah.
So that's something I'm going to be asking about. The
What ab-
production manager
Yeah, what about
is
that?
outstanding right now. Right now, we are, the director is going to start doing phone screenings and then commence interviews.
So the production director is the hiring manager,
The community TV director,
the
correct?
community?
Yes.
on that program?
Right, if you get down, and I know you just touched on it, when you get to the treasurer collector, that was one that we did recently, John Kittredge came from the board, but after we approved it, then we went to the assistant, and we found out that we had made an error. There's just a typo or something in I can show it to you. It was
Sure.
just the word should and will were flip-flopped. But we just did that one
Yeah.
before John left, because he gave it to us to post, so that one should be good.
Okay. Well, what we can do too is check the comps on what's posted out there now too,
Yeah.
to make sure that we're in line.
It was,
Okay. So, Ray, quick question, production manager, that is a fill of an existing position, correct?
That is a new position that the board had classified in November.
Okay, so that's been approved by the
Yes.
finance committee and everything, okay. And
That would have
then,
been last year's budget, town meeting.
and then the next one is the recreation manager.
Recreation manager is still outstanding. There's been, and this kind of ties in to the additions to this in terms of open positions or positions that need to be classified. There's a program that is shifting from the school department, as you know, over to the town. These are positions that need to be classified on our salary scale. I've provided the proposed job descriptions that are in line with what these
Yeah.
positions do.
Yeah.
And these salary scale proposals are built on the people who are occupying the positions right now.
Okay,
That's for the recreation manager?
No, this is why the recreation manager is delayed, because the director has been solely pulling in her seasonal staff for the summer program and trying to build out taking on the programming from the school.
okay, so,
So she
yeah,
hasn't
we
had a lot of
still,
time.
I mean, I know we've entertained a couple of meetings between the Parks and Rec. We didn't get the chance to speak with the school. So what you're saying is that's coming, or
The
how's
position,
that
the
transition
program
gonna
is
happen?
transitioning.
Excuse me?
It is transitioning.
It is transitioning?
Yes.
Isn't that something the personnel board?
No.
No?
No,
that
you
was-
don't, the personnel board
School?
doesn't approve programs or
Got it.
initiatives.
Got it.
Designates what
But
this.
but Ray, were there actual, I guess, and I think Dr. Meyer would be the perfect person to comment on this, just to be sure, and Brendan, maybe you remember. But like, from the after-school program, when the schools ran it, monies came in for the program, and the money that came in self-funded the program.
Correct.
We probably had a person or two on stipend that was sort of the liaison or the leader of the program, but essentially, we didn't have like perm positions.
No.
Correct? Like, it was basically like, okay, if we bring in X amount of dollars for the program, we're just gonna pay the people that work hourly that are in the program, and then they get paid. So as we transition this to Park and Rec, are we saying that there'll be permanent positions that will be associated with the program? Because it's also not a full, obviously, it's not a full year type of thing. So I'm just curious, what does the new program look like as far as permanent headcount compared to how we ran it in the schools?
So we are still looking at the one coordinator, and then 10, one coordinator or program supervisor, and then the 10 program assistants. It is a permanent program. The funding is there in a revolving account, so it does not require approval from the
Okay.
finance committee.
Yep.
It is going to be held by the town. That's really the biggest change, is who is going to be servicing, or who's going to be holding this. And we won't be providing ABA providers or individuals to provide ABA services, that'll be a different story also. And I know that they've discussed what the requirement is with the state for that. So right now, it's moving over these 11 employees, one of which will be the supervisor, who will be in a higher position. That might be a more benefited employee, which probably should be now, considering it is 180 days, but it does meet the threshold for benefits.
Okay.
So we just need to go ahead and confirm that with retirement, and if they qualify for retirement benefits, then they'll qualify for town benefits also.
So the program assistant, those are full-time positions?
No, they're not full-time. These are both part-time positions.
Okay.
Yep. So the program assistants will work a maximum of 5 hours a day if they do AM and PM. Most of them are doing one or the other. We have one person doing both shifts.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Very good.
So the request here, it was last minute because there was question as to whether or not this needed to be classified through the personnel board. The two positions are here for your review. I've worked with the director on these position descriptions, and the current pay and classifications are written on the
On the job description.
on the actual job descriptions. Are not classifications, they're not classified as such, but that is what they're currently making, and it falls in line with these classification bands.
So equivalency more than anything
Yes.
else, because it is a self-funded program. So it's not like we're introducing more budget to the town. It's a revolving
Exactly.
account, money comes in, money goes out.
Yeah.
But you put together equivalency so we know where they match up.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now,
And in the future, when we hire these positions, they'll fall in the lower end of this salary bracket.
so the current one, it says $32 an hour, is that, and then the other one you say put on step 11, when they get that 32 an hour, was that the same every year? Did they ever get it raised, you know? Like, will this go up a step, like everything?
My
else?
understanding is that they've been pretty consistent, that's what they're making right now.
Okay, but it did go up as the years,
I don't believe it did.
but these would, right?
These would go up annually, yes.
Because there's, so they, but they'd still max out at 50.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah.
But, okay.
And with
Did-
grade,
Regardless of the enrollment numbers, correct?
Enrollment will directly influence the staffing,
Right.
but it seems that they have a wait list.
But the way it's funded will always be through evolving of money in and money out. So I think that the important distinction here, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brenny, would be, if today it's self-funding, we don't really have people on a scale, so they're not entitled to COLA, an increase and increase and increase. So now it becomes a position that's sort of like on a pay scale. It's a self-funded program, 10 grand in, 10 grand goes out. Has nothing to do with the scale or any of that.
But that-
If we introduce this as such, are we now we talking about,
The funding source doesn't matter. If they're an employee under the jurisdiction of the personnel board, they are subject to the rules of the personnel board and our COLA increases and all of our funding.
okay.
Then
So-
it's
So that's
not,
different.
it's not
So,
self-funded.
so that's that introduces a different dynamic than what it once was.
Right.
Right? Is that right, Ray? Am
Right,
I
so-
saying that right?
Because that wouldn't be self-funded. Yeah, you'll get money in from enrollment, but if you have these people get the increases.
Well, the
it's
costs
not
of the
gonna-
program do change also.
Sure.
They're evaluated
Okay.
annually.
Well, and if
So
the
that would be on the
program has a-
department to figure that
Right.
out.
And
you
if the
know?
program has a budget and less money comes in, then they just get rid, they lay off.
I mean,
lay
they'd
off
have
people.
to get
So
rid
it
of
equals.
some.
I mean, this is the way it goes.
Huh?
you'd have to do that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
If, I don't know what the cost is for the enrollment, but you're
Like,
right.
does somebody monitor whether it's
I
a
don't know enough
profitable
about
or
it.
not
The director-
profitable?
the
It's
director
not
works with
supposed
the
to be
town
profitable.
accountant.
Because we turned over, I
And
don't
who,
know,
now that it's coming over to the town and the school used to monitor that, is there somebody in the town?
The director is working with the town accountant to
Yeah.
balance
Mm-hmm.
that.
I think just.
yeah, 'cause I don't know, they did turn over a balance, I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it's seeming to work out.
Yeah.
I did confirm with the town accountant months ago that it would be coming out of there.
Sure.
The funding is coming in, it's almost guaranteed at this point. She also has some, the director also has some wiggle room within, to pad salaries if she needs to. And to fund these few cents extra per hour so that they fall within our salary schemes.
Yeah, then it becomes a department like anything else. Like, they'll have to make decisions based upon what they're putting forth to the finance committee and how they budget it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
For me,
I think it is what it is
Yeah.
at that point.
Yep. All right, good, thank you.
Okay.
So do we,
You need a motion
Right.
probably to approve that.
I think we need two motions, one to approve or look at the job descriptions, and one to approve the classification. If the board is comfortable.
oh, I see what you said, okay.
Say again, Brennan?
So I make a motion that we approve the classification of Class D, Step 11 for the, what are they, the program, are these program supervisors? No,
Yeah,
no.
I thought so.
The chair would ask for a motion.
Yes, isn't that what she?
I thought
Okay.
you just did.
No, she didn't
Oh,
yet.
but I'm confused right now when I read this. It says program supervisor. Are they all program supervisors?
One is a program
One.
supervisor, one is a program assistant. Only one person will be the
Are
supervisor.
you asking us also to approve the recreation manager as well?
No, a
within this?
recreation manager
Already?
is, that's a
Already
little
done.
bit stalled, but that's all.
I don't see a second one.
Okay, do I have a?
Oh, I see, okay.
Okay,
So we need to approve the job descriptions for each of them and the
Do-
classifications.
Yep.
Not necessarily the steps, but the classifications.
right.
So the,
So-
just, I'm sorry, because I'm confused on the, so the program supervisor, that's going to be in charge of the 10,
They're managing the, they're
They're managing-
supervising the
and that would be
program.
Class D, right?
Correct.
And then the actual
The assistants.
Program
attendants,
assistant.
they're going to be Step A?
Correct.
Okay, are graded,
Grade
okay.
A.
The school.
I didn't see there were two different ones. Till just now. That's a big.
Madam Chair, what say you?
Do I have a motion to approve the job descriptions for the recreation manager? Right?
Nope.
Nope,
No.
no, sorry. No, I meant the program supervisor for Parks and Recreation and the job description for the program assistants.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Discussion?
Aye.
Are we good?
No, we're good on this.
All in
please.
favor?
Okay.
So we also have to take a vote on the step,
Classification.
On the classification.
on the classification. Yeah, so, I don't know, what is he proposing here? Class
I
D,
just didn't realize it was that much different.
and
I think what Ray said is a classification he brought over is mirroring
the town.
basically what it was due to pay out as it was currently running. Is that correct, Ray?
252.
Correct.
It's
Are they
equivalent?
That's only one.
Yeah, there are a couple of cents higher, just because of the placement on the band, but yes. The program, I'm sorry, the program supervisor is currently making 32 per hour, so I've written the current salary on the top.
Yep.
Program assistants are making 21 an hour.
So do I have a motion to classify the program supervisor for the Parks and Rec, the proposed, to a Class D?
So moved.
Second.
And do I have a motion to classify the program assistant to a Class A?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Done.
Good to go, Ray.
So then,
That's that.
next, Ray, you have a proposal to the Personnel Board for an HR coordinator.
Correct.
You have provided us with the proposed job description and a proposed classification.
Correct.
Okay. So, this Human Resources Coordinator will report to you, correct?
Yes.
And their duties, essential functions.
Excuse me.
Oh, it's part of the other.
We're just looking at the job description. So do you want to give us
Sure.
a summary, if you don't
So
mind, please?
the budget subcommittee, sorry, I couldn't think of budget, comprising of 2 select board members and 2 finance committee members, did approve a budget line for a human resources assistant, which was proposed under D15 for the full amount because of the market. They only funded $40,000, hoping that essentially we would be able to fill this in the latter half of the year and then get the additional funding to fund a full-time position next year. I can't do that and guarantee funding for a position going forward. At any rate, I did write the position to match that salary band, to be able to go all the way up to D whatever if I needed to. My hope is to, once it's classified, decide whether or not to fill it out of class so that there is some help rather than wait until the end of the year to fill the position, at least with an intern for the administrative parts of it, or with a part-time position that, you know, hopefully I can word it with, you know, potential to go full-time in July. You know what I mean? My worry about waiting and backfilling it is not being able to fund a full-time position in the next year and then having to pay the unemployment benefit on top of funding the position at part-time. So right now, my challenge and my task that what I'm asking the board is to review the job description and vote on it, if you will, or against, or make suggested edits based on the classification D, but also to look at the classification on the salary band so that we can get this position somewhere.
So Ray, we could oblige and vote to approve what you've rolled out here, but I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying financially. You're saying there's
Yeah.
$40,000 in the budget for the remainder of this fiscal, but where our purview would stop is we would say, yeah, we agree. We'll approve what you have written here, but you're probably going to have to take that up with the finance committee as you build your budget heading into next year to make sure it gets funded at the band that we place it in, once that happens, because you have a finite amount of monies right now, is that correct?
Right, so what we can do is we can place it on any band we'd like. At this point, the position is written as a full-time position. It can be placed on a band as long as that funding is on there, is within that band.
Sure.
Or if I decide to fill it part-time for an indeterminate amount of time, as long as the funding is there, it can be classified anywhere. The finance committee is more worried with the line item being used to fund a salary than anything else.
Say that again?
The money needs to be used to fund a salary. How
Correct.
it funds a salary
Right.
is pretty much, it's up to us.
So it's $40,000.
Right now, it's $40,000, correct. Which, if you look at the comps that I provided toward the back, these are the same towns that we use to compare the town administrator salaries also. On an average, it falls short about $21,000.
So it's
$40,000 for a full-time position?
Right. The hope was that I would fill it at the latter half of the year
Right,
and
so
ask
it's half
for
the year.
additional funding.
So it's really, call it like a $65,000 position, but come next year when he's funding it for the full year, like he'll have enough money to fund the position because he's not
Yeah.
having to fund it for
No,
the full
I
year.
get it, yeah.
Sure.
But I guess that's all I'm saying, like, we could agree with him and we could approve this today, but he's still gonna be at whatever the pleasure of the finance committee is, because we can't give him money outside of the 40 grand.
Which is the same with anything we.
Right.
any-
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
But so now when we're classifying the job, and if we do it on your recommendation of a grade D, it's still out of the $40,000 range.
Not if it's a part-time position
If
at the
it's
low grade.
part-time,
Yeah.
so then that
But
would
I'd rather
be-
not restrict this position to part-time because that will also restrict, when we classify, let's say we
Sure.
get the funding in July, I don't have to wait for the board to approve a wording change on the job description for me to be able to get a full-time position.
So are you classifying as a D going forward too?
Yes.
Okay.
But your request, and if I follow you, is
But we can,
a full-time position.
Yeah, why not?
My request is a
Classify however he
position.
wants.
Okay,
He's got
but,
funding.
and I think that
Nothing to do
we've
with
done
this.
this,
It's not in the
not
salary.
intentionally don't happen here, but it has done in the past with
Right.
or
It is.
allocated
It
money
has
in the
nothing to do
fiscal
with
year,
But
this.
he's saying when he
okay?
gets full-time.
And then didn't hire the
That's what
person
I'm
in
asking,
January.
if it was, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
the-
if I-
the band
if
won't
money was
impact that,
allocated
because he'll
$100,000,
fill it
really that
part-time
year
with
only
us.
cost 50.
And then come next year, he'll have to
Because
present
of when
his
they
budget.
filled it.
Right.
So if you filled this, and I'm picking a number off the top, if you filled it in January, you'd have enough money to pay.
Right. But then there's no guarantee that that funding will be there for
Okay,
July.
no, I understand, yeah,
Yes.
that's.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's my other mountain.
Yeah, good
That's
luck.
next year's mountain.
Yeah, you know what, hey, I'm living year to year,
Okay.
because we're senior citizens.
I mean, I support, you need somebody. I mean, we've said this all along. I mean,
Yeah,
we've said
we
this
do.
even before you were here, that that office needs somebody
Okay.
to support you in any way, whether it's a generalist, coordinator, whatever. So I agree with this.
So,
It's unfortunate that they only approved $40,000.
Exactly, that's
I
what
don't
I-
agree with that at all.
that's a different
That,
step to take care of, though.
I
after
understand
this.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
I know that.
I'm grateful in the way that they didn't fund any other new positions this year because of the financial situation.
I understand that, but this, I guess my point is that we've spoken about this, we spoke about
Yes.
this last year.
Yep.
We knew that this was going to be, this should have been in the budget, because we talked about having it in the budget.
Absolutely.
So that's
Yeah, we talked
my
about the
frustration.
failure of the position
That's
with
right.
two other people, because
That's,
they didn't have
that's
the
right.
support they
We-
needed.
And
Since
and we
day one.
talked
fair.
about why that
That's fair.
was,
That's fair.
so.
Okay, so do I have a motion to approve the job description as written and to approve the class application as a grade D?
So
I'll make
moved.
a motion.
Yeah, so moved. Second. I'll second it.
Yeah, I guess I haven't had time, I'm good with the D, okay? I haven't had time to read this, obviously, I don't think any of us have. But, I guess if we approve it and we have a question, we could always,
Right.
it's something minor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, I just
No.
haven't read it. But in the interest of getting, at least getting the pay grade on there, and again, I think Ellen or Joan, when you said earlier, if there's something small to change, we can always go back and change it. So I'm okay with it, long story short.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion.
I'm so sorry. I just got a little confused. And please forgive me. Is it approved the job description and
The class.
Yes.
the
Yes.
classification?
Yeah,
Yes.
I just babbled for about 5 minutes
As
before I
written.
voted.
Ray, as written.
As
As
written.
written.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
you're welcome.
But, Ray,
Yes.
side note,
Yes.
how are we doing with the time tracking system?
I have no idea what you're talking. I'm just kidding. No. We're catching up with employees right now who aren't turning in timesheets, working with the treasurer's office to make sure we're getting those from everyone. But in terms of the time tracking system itself,
Yes.
we're still updating our payroll system right now to be able to support it.
So,
It's been,
I know, and this isn't on him.
And this isn't just the town that's
It's not
doing
on him,
it.
because, we don't have anybody running the
In a
tax.
way, it kind of is, and I'll admit it. And the only reason I'm going to say
Don't you fall on
that,
the sword.
I would
Hold on,
not-
hold on.
I would disagree with that 100%.
I appreciate that very much. Our payroll system mirrors what the school's payroll system is. And right now, we're updating it so that we can actually reconcile our records on a payroll, at least on the payroll side of things. So we're updating in tandem, and we're going into a test environment so that we'll be able to actually, we need our records to be the same essentially, so that when we're pulling reports to reconcile benefits, to reconcile deductions, to reconcile enrollments, retirement, we're pulling the same data and we're not pulling from two different sources and trying to match them up. So we're doing them together so that we can do it. The school also wants to get a time tracking system for their side and self-service time and attendance. So they're working with us to be able to do it. The other obstacle that we might have is I'm just finding out it's not something that we've enrolled in. We're going to have a cost per participant. My understanding originally was that we had already opted into this. Turns out we hadn't. So, and I just found this out about a month
2
ago.
years.
Baby steps.
Well, and this was a warrant article that was passed, funded, and whatever, who knows how long ago, right? Like 3, 4, 5 years ago?
And what is it gonna take for somebody to
Right now,
turn it on?
manpower. Right now, we need capacity to be able to make all of these updates, and we're doing them. We're waiting for the test environment to be ready so that we can start testing it on our end, and we do have the vendor working on it. So,
But Ray, what you're saying is, once the testing is done, if we go from test to production,
Yeah.
at that point in time, there's gonna have to
Okay,
be
yeah, I just want to make sure.
a consideration for there's a cost per participant once they're in there, right? There's some additional cost that's gonna be associated with it. at some point.
Well, we'll have to see what that's
Yeah.
gonna look like.
Yep, okay.
Because, and it won't be for everyone either.
Sure.
So that it'll be small to begin with.
Right, okay.
I have introduced into some of the bargaining sessions to have the time tracking system in there when we're ready to implement. It won't be for all of them right away. It'll be a while for all of them, but at
Okay.
least on our end, that'll be the smaller cost for the non-union.
I mean, I appreciate you trying to take accountability for this, but this is something that we have asked for 2 years from the administrator's office. So, you know, you're only one person, you don't have anybody helping you in that office. We've got nobody in the town administrator office, we still don't have a town collector. I mean, there's lots of reasons why this isn't happening, but it's a problem.
But thank you for all you're doing, Ray.
Thank
We
you
do
kindly.
appreciate you.
Okay, so then, moving along, because, it's getting late.
Yes, it is.
So the personnel bylaw review, for 2027, we probably should start a little earlier this year.
When we
Yeah,
last left off,
I asked for that to
Some
be on
progress.
the, yeah, I asked for that to be on the agenda because I missed the last meeting where we didn't approve any of it. I was just surprised that we didn't approve the things that we had agreed
didn't
to.
approve any additional
Yeah,
pages. We didn't,
We just got through a couple things that we
because
wouldn't have been able
of
to read
time,
three chapters.
because Matt, we wouldn't have had a quorum either, because you had to. go
Okay.
somewhere.
So I was just curious, because I hadn't gotten
We
an
pushed
update.
through the
but-
three things that we were comfortable with, but we didn't have time to go through it all.
Okay, so, yes, so my point is, we need to
No, I
get,
know you're
you tell us when you think is, I want to make sure that this gets on the agenda in an appropriate time frame, so we have enough time to
So-
discuss and review what it is we want to bring forward.
So what we said at the last meeting was we would, and again, I don't know if it'd be a chapter, 'cause some of the chapters are small, but whatever chapter, if it pertained to other departments, at least push it to their department head, correct? So if there was
So,
something.
yeah, we'd say we definitely wanted the legal to weigh in on it, make sure we were good to go with whatever was written.
I'm talking like if there's something, we're just talking about like with time tracking, if there was
Yeah.
something with payroll, make sure that the treasurer and them were aware of it. We
Mm-hmm.
don't definitely need, you know, because maybe, like I said, there's something we'd miss on, and then we could move faster without sitting here
Mm-hmm.
guessing.
And, right, we wanted, the department
Just
heads
department
to,
heads, yes.
department heads to,
Either
read
weigh in or
and
do-
buy in and make sure it's realistic as to what they're actually doing.
Which we can, we could just do a chapter, or
Right,
whatever you want to call it.
exactly.
And I did make a note that, and
Okay.
we basically, as a group, we TA'd everything up to page 17.
Yes.
When we got to 5.2, which is where vacation leave started,
That's right.
that's where we need to pick up from. So we're not gonna go reinvent the wheel and go
Nope.
back to the beginning and talk about what happened between page 1 and page 17.
Well, that's why I'm
We-
asking,
we-
because
yeah,
I
we-
didn't
no,
get
we-
an
we-
update.
all
Yeah.
due respect, every meeting we reinvented the wheel.
Yeah.
And so
But
that's
I'm
why,
just-
and that's
that's why
why,
I'm trying to
That's
avoid
right.
it, as I'm saying,
and
we did.
that's why I asked the
we
board in the
TA'd.
last meeting, and that's why I added it to this agenda,
Yeah.
and it was agreed by the quorum
Yep.
that was there, that we would come up with a process for the
Yes.
review.
Yeah,
Yeah,
timeline.
We
okay.
did,
Right.
Yes.
and a timeline.
But the
So
process-
if the
Go
board,
ahead, I'm sorry.
But that's where we are.
so if the board wants to create the process to review, great. If the board would like me to propose a process for the review, I'm happy to do so. Don't know what the timing would be on that. But I just want to make sure that if that is the plan, that we put a process together so that we're actually being consistent and we're moving it along.
But
I
Matt-
would
Matt,
agree with that.
I do disagree a little bit, is we do need to start back at the beginning because we didn't include any of the departments. No, I know, but there's not a lot, I mean, when you're talking, I mean, we've got months, there's
What do we
there's
need
7
from the
chapters.
departments? I guess I'm confused. We didn't have that discussion. We didn't, I mean, is this something new that you
Well,
guys talked
there was
about?
feedback, and I don't have it in front of me, but regarding like, you know, how you account for sick time or hours, at least, again, I'm not saying you have to agree.
We're
but
back to that one?
That's where you let off, because it didn't, I don't know, it just, I'd rather have them aware of it and write in on it than just dump it and say, hey, this is what we came up with.
I disagree with that. That is going to become cumbersome. Because you're never gonna get anybody to
Oh,
agree.
and none of that, it's not
So-
our job to have department heads agree. It's
No.
our job to make sure that it's reflective
Of
And
what
to
we
give
want.
them,
Correct.
and give them enough
And then
time.
legal
We
has
just
to
push
make
it, I'm
sure
not saying
that-
invite
To
them to the
look at.
meeting, you just send it in an email, say, hey. this
No,
is-
I don't
Jason?
even agree with that.
You know what? We should give them enough time to look at it, to not make the change.
They
I
don't
mean,
need
it's
to
not-
agree.
No, I'm just saying they can review it.
Sure, but I'm getting stuck on agree.
Yeah, employees don't make the rules, I guess is
Right.
what your point is.
If I may, I think what the board could do is make updates distribute the draft to
Correct.
department heads and invite them
Which is
to
what
a
we said.
personnel board meeting to get their input.
Yes.
to
But,
make sure it's
but I think
reflective.
that would mean having a process to review them so that
It
you can
doesn't
make
mean
those
we're gonna
suggested
change
changes.
it.
No, it just, right.
It's
So
just-
if we did,
It needs
for
to be
sake of
very
argument,
clear
if we had done a
in the
chapter
memo.
tonight, we could have pushed it out tomorrow and say, hey, by the next meeting, email your, again, I know we didn't do one tonight, but you're right, that process to just push it out. I'm not saying a chapter, some of them are small.
But that's
at
what I
least-
mean, like, we need a
Yes.
process.
We do.
Okay.
But Brendan, I think everything, if you go
So-
back,
On
if
the
you go back and
process,
look,
correct.
if you go back and look before our next meeting, pages 1 through 17, I think what you're gonna find is the stuff that they'd wanna weigh in on is from 17 on. It's not that other stuff.
Okay, well, I'll take
I
it. I
think
mean, I don't
we-
have it in front of
yeah,
me, just.
We did a pretty
Yeah, I
good job
know
with
you
that. Like,
But, so
We could revisit those parts just to see if the board would like to suggest any other changes
Yeah, actually, I don't
and
have
to
it in front
appease
of me.
everyone.
I don't want to speak to
Yeah.
it now because I don't have it.
okay, so why don't, do you have time to come up with, say, you guys, we're gonna be reviewing this section of the bylaws next meeting? We should start now.
Yes, because I've already made those suggested edits on my
Right.
end.
And we didn't
but
finish
I
it.
don't know if the board wants to start from scratch. I don't know what the
No.
appetite
Why
is.
don't
I
we
don't.
start where we left off, and then we'll revisit back before we
Yeah, we could-
finalize
I don't know
to
what's
the
in there. It
beginning.
could take 10 minutes
Right.
just to flip through it. I just don't, I don't have it.
We can go part by part.
Yep, let's do that.
Right, okay, but we're not, I vote not to, spend a lot of time. I mean, we've had several meetings on this,
Not
you
on
guys.
this going forward stuff, we didn't even,
well, we've also asked Ray to spend an immense amount of time updating
I
it.
just
Right.
don't know what
Yeah.
going forward means. I'm gonna be very, very
well, where we
honest.
left off,
We've
where
kind
was it we left
I'm
off?
fine with where we left off.
We left off in various parts of part
Yeah.
5 and
Five
different
point two,
meetings.
vacation leave. That's where we left off. So next meeting, we will pick up that section, 5.2 up until, there's a long one.
I don't think there's that many pages left. in it,
No,
to be
there
honest with you.
isn't.
There's probably like
And then
6
we
pages
can
left.
just do a final scrub going back. So we'll do 5.2 and 5.3 next meeting,
Okay.
review. And then prior to, once we complete, we'll do a final scrub of the sections that we spent a lot of time on.
Yeah, and I think, Ray, one of the things you pointed out to us that I think bears repeating is that in going through the bylaws, it's also about identifying liability and how archaic some things on the books can be. So your job that we hired you to do as the HR professional is to identify where we have liability. And if there's things that we've identified that puts us at risk to that liability and not in line with standards of the state, then those need to be tackled as soon as we can tackle them, regardless of how Clinton, Massachusetts has done this in the last 30 years. It's irrelevant, right? The practice of the last 30 years is irrelevant if we're in liability, that things could be illegal. And that's where Bob Gibbons and anybody else should be weighing in on it, going, get this off the table and make sure we're not liable, because if someone like pops their head out of a hole and decides to sue us for money we don't have, we're gonna be in a bad spot. So I know there was a few sections that you had outlined there that I think would be important for us to like circle back on, so we're not like, I don't want this board to be the board that's like, oh, we didn't address it, and someone sued us. Like, we don't need that, you know what I mean?
There were some things that we can't practice. There were some things that just weren't updated, that we can't do, that were
Okay.
just beholden to state and federal law.
Right.
So
Because
think
I
that
certainly
takes
don't know enough
precedent.
about it. It's not my bailiwick, but.
And
Right.
there are other things that,
Okay.
that need to be updated to be reflective of
Mm-hmm.
our times, and also our compensation, this is part of our compensation package. And if we can't up the rates, people don't stay here because we get paid well in public.
Yeah.
It's very
agree,
true.
Agree.
We stay here because there's a retirement
Case in
benefit.
point.
We stay here
Agree.
because of the benefit
Right.
to work in public. So what do? We want to look at vacation time, we want to look at sick time,
That's right.
transferring that sick time, that sick buyout. You know, that's a big one for a lot of people in the public sector because that's their retirement. So if you want someone with experience to come in, you need to extend that buyout to them also, based on creditable service. So these are the kinds of things that we want to
Yeah.
explore and look
Agree.
at.
Yeah, we should highlight those.
Okay, good, thank you. Finally, discussion of schedule of future board meetings. I'm not
Yes,
sure what
so
that
we
means.
have a cadence listed on the town website that we meet the second Tuesday of every month at 5 PM. We have not followed that in a very long time. I'd like to revisit that with the board. Any suggestions?
I think
Because
it's
I'd like to be
really when
transparent with the public.
availability of the
Yeah.
board.
Right.
I don't really care about the cadence, because we need a full board here.
Right.
And the summer has, even all the boards
Yeah.
kind of get off schedule a little bit.
I
The summer, I
mean-
think the selectmen are once a month, the school committee's once a month. So it does change a little, it get
It
off
does,
schedule.
it's gonna,
Throw that fifth week in there, it
unfortunately.
kind of throws it off.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're right. I think we've been pretty good up until kind of the summer, right? So, I mean, with vacations and people traveling and.
Are we still good with the first Tuesday every month at 5? Do we want to try to hold to that?
I think so. I
Don't
mean,
know.
are you guys?
I'm fine with it. I work from home, I'm fine with it.
August, to be the first Tuesday in August is next week or the week after, isn't it?
Yeah, that's next, we can't do the first Tuesday in August, because
Well, maybe we
we're
say
here
starting
today.
in September.
Yeah, that's
Once
what-
the
that's-
summer's over.
I believe,
Exactly.
was it, I'm sorry, I thought it was the second Tuesday of the month.
Week after Labor Day? Week after.
Yeah, see,
You still-
at least let's set
Still
August
gonna
and
be
figure it out
recovering
from
from your
there.
labor?
No,
Pick
I
up?
can't make it the
Jesus,
day
Ellen.
after
I'll be
Labor
in
Day.
Maine.
Me either, I'm not, yeah.
No,
I'm not going back to school this year.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If we
no.
could just pick our next
Officially
date.
we're
It's the
we could discuss it.
second Tuesday of each month.
Okay. What is that date, Ray, please?
The next one would be on the 12th of August.
August 12th? That's like in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
was
I'm saying, it's
thinking
already
more
the end of
like
July.
Can we
It's,
make that September?
it's in 3 weeks.
So let's go the second Tuesday in September.
Well, wait, that, is it,
That's the ninth.
That would be
yeah,
the
that's the day
ninth.
after Labor Day, right?
No, that's
Okay,
secondaries.
all right, okay, then I'm good with the ninth.
I said
No, okay,
Hey, why don't, hey, Ray, can we
Okay,
go
I'd like-
December 12th? December 12th.
no,
would be good.
I'm
We'll
good with,
see you then.
No, I'm good with September 9th. I just didn't want to be coming
me
in the day after
too.
Labor
No, I
Day.
went-
Yeah,
Okay, let's,
Okay.
is everybody good on September
Yes.
9th?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
second Tuesday of
Ray,
each month
next
starting in
You don't want to do
September.
9/11?
September 9th is the next meeting, A, and then the second Tuesday thereafter
Okay.
of every month.
Please. And thank you.
Didn't want to wait that long.
Okay.
And if we need
Unless
to,
some, an
and if
emergency.
we need
But
to
Ray,
come,
if
yeah. Oh, no, I was just gonna say.
If you
Yeah.
feel as though
Depending on
after
what
your discussion with the selectmen
gonna
say,
regarding,
yes.
Depending on what they say tomorrow
We'd be
night.
happy to meet, so shoot me an email and I'll,
Yes.
Right, we'll
put
figure-
together something.
Without
Because
a
we don't
doubt.
want to hold anything up. So
Exactly.
if something comes up and you need to meet with us, we'll
Absolutely.
make
Yeah.
something happen, even if it's not a Tuesday.
Yeah, depending on
Right.
what they say tomorrow night, but we got, for us to meet with just,
Right.
yeah.
We would love to meet to address redoing the assistant town administrator position. So if they want to do
Yeah.
that, I will be
see
here
this board
next
is
week.
very eager to move things forward on the
Yeah.
employment front.
Yeah, right.
I would just, I'd like to limit the appearance of a closed-door meeting. If, how do I do this? We can, there can be an email from the chair to the board members to schedule or for the purposes of scheduling, but not for discussing, because it gives the appearance of an open meeting behind closed doors.
Well, no, if
No,
you
we'll
think
set a
something,
meeting.
well, if you think something needs to be done, then we'll post it and
We'll
we'll schedule
post
a
it,
date and we'll
follow the
post
Just
it.
send it to Joni.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
that's
just,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, like.
No, 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 we're not asking
Let's
to
not
do that.
discuss.
No, that's what she
No,
said.
no, 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 I know you're not
That's
asking
not
that.
gonna
I'm not
vote.
trying to put words in your mouth, I'm so sorry.
No.
No, I'm just saying, like, if that's what the discussion is, I'll just put a blurb in there that says that, or I can send it to all of you and you can facilitate the discussion.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, but
We'll
we're
work it out
willing to
then.
meet if we need to move things forward and post it, do whatever
Yeah.
we need to do to make it happen.
Right.
Excellent.
Okay, so I'd like to
Adjourn.
make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Meeting adjourned.